Oh my heavens, we got so many like DMs and comments about that.
He gets spastic.
Oh gosh. I don't have a lot of stuff, but they might get mad at me.
All right, before you type in the comments, I am fully aware that Alden is not in focus. He was in focus at the start, and then my dumb camera put me in focus, so for the entire duration, he is a bit blurry, but if you can get past that, this is probably one of my favorite interviews. So with that, if you do like this type of content, be sure to subscribe, and here's my interview with Alden Harris. Do you have any sunscreen I can use real quick?
Yes, it's your lucky day. Just carry around for Gannon. He gets pretty burnt, so.
Little pasty boy. Thanks. Does this look good?
Yeah.
Today, I have a very special guest on my kind of new podcast called Going Deep, where I go deep into the minds of influential people of the sport. Today, I have Alden. Obviously, you know him from Tour, from YouTube, probably the best disc golf channel out there right now.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
So you're currently at 28,000 subscribers. Did you ever kind of project that was going to be where you're at?
Definitely not. No, not really at all. When I first started making the vlogs, I was getting like 20 views, and it was pretty much just people in Atlanta who knew who I was and liked to follow what I was doing, and I never even really intended it for it to blow up, and it just kind of, I think the first video that did really well was, it was titled like Gannon, or How Far Can Gannon Throw a Piece of Bread, and for some reason people thought that was a funny title and thumbnail, and that was kind of the first one that got a lot of views, and then kind of started from there.
I mean, you obviously have to spend a decent amount of effort on it, so how did you decide, hey, I want to like prioritize this and being a professional athlete?
Like the first year we did it, and even last year a little bit, it came pretty like natural. We didn't have to really force anything, because we lived in vans. None of us were really like super notable players, so we didn't really have many other obligations. So we just kind of videoed whenever something funny happened. These days, it's kind of a little trickier. You kind of have to go out of your way to get videos, just because we all just have different obligations we have to do throughout the week. But yeah, I definitely wish I could do more, because I used to do a video every tournament, and this year I don't think I've uploaded in a couple weeks, but I'd like to go back to doing it every week, but it's kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, every time I see an Alden video pop up in my feed, I'm like, I gotta watch it. I'm stopping everything. And how did you kind of like develop that sense of humor, like you and the whole gang? Because it seems just so natural.
Yeah, lucky enough, I feel like we all have pretty similar, senses of humor. So I don't know, I feel like it may just kind of come down to luck a little bit. We all find the same things funny, so we all can kind of bounce ideas off each other and make each other laugh pretty easily.
I'd love to know, is there ever like a profit split, or is it all just like, we make a couple dollars here and there?
Pretty much. I'm spending $120 on Legos every week to destroy in the videos, so all the revenue goes to me. But it's not much. But
so what's been your favorite video to film?
The one I actually just mentioned probably was destroying Gannon's Statue of Liberty Legos, when I bought a replica of it and then destroyed it in front of him, and he thought it was his own. But that was also really fun. But then everything else in that video was really, really fun. We had a fun skit in that video. So I don't know. I think that's my all around the funniest and my favorite to watch.
I doubt you're going to give anything negative, but how has the transition to Discmania been so far?
It's actually been really good. The discs are unbelievable. The distance drivers specifically are so good. Really the problem this year I'm having is just, for some reason my confidence level is a little low. It has nothing to do with the disc. I don't know, something about, I think during the off season I like kind of accidentally tweaked a couple things in my form, and I just kind of threw everything off once I got into tournaments. So it's been a little frustrating, because I feel like I have to use like the season time to like get back, I don't know, to like adjust my form, which is never what you want to do. So it has nothing to do with this. Discs are unbelievable. It's honestly hard to believe how good they fly compared to what I was throwing. They're really, really good.
Shots fired. Do you feel happy on tour when you do good? And conversely, do you actually feel like unhappy on tour when you have tournaments like these where you start, I think it's 3 over right now, and obviously it's not where you want to be, but do you let it get into your psyche, or?
It's hard not to, especially with where I'm at right now. I'm adjusting my form, I feel like every week, trying to get it back to where it was. So I'm not like too concerned about like my score right now, I guess. I'm just trying to kind of get back into the flow where I was. Obviously it's a little annoying and frustrating, but I know it's going to come back, so not too worried.
I was looking back at your stats. 2022, I think it was Mid-America Open, you won. And then ever since then, you've had a couple of top 10s. I think you took 3rd at DDO. How do you kind of feel like that placement is for you so far?
I think I've been like in contention going into the final round a handful of times, and it's like my favorite thing ever. So I'd love to, you know, get that to be a normality, I guess, and have it more often.
I think it's my perspective that could be completely wrong, but I kind of feel like you're your best when you're just kind of throwing. You're not really thinking about it too much. Like I think in rounds like these where there's a million people, my perception is it gets in your head a little bit. Whereas like if it's a smaller tournament, you excel better. Do you agree with that notion or not really?
Yeah, I definitely feel like usually people play at their best when they're not thinking about anything and they're just kind of in the zone. Again, I feel like that's kind of my problem this year, is that I am kind of thinking about my form because I'm trying to change it. So I'm like right now I'm trying to reach more straight back. So like every throw I'm thinking about reaching straight back, which that's the last thing you want to do when you're trying to throw well. But you know, that's just kind of the process you have to go through to make it feel natural and get back to just feeling like you're throwing.
Again, I'm sure the answer is no, but with Isaac and Gannon obviously crushing, and Ezra, with them doing so well, is there ever like a hint of jealousy? You're like, oh, I really wish I was winning those too.
I mean, not really. I feel like we all celebrate each other's wins, and I don't know. And we all have bad weeks and good weeks. So kind of, I don't know, like some weeks it's Gannon's week, seems like every week these days. But, you know, I don't know. We kind of all go through our ups and downs.
Does it feel weird to have so many eyes on you, like Worlds or an event like this?
It definitely used to be. It used to make me so stinking nervous being in front of a ton of people, and I really don't notice it a ton anymore, surprisingly. I don't know. I've been on Jomas a couple times, and they also do a really good job of, like, the Jomas guys are like ninjas. They kind of, I don't even know. You just never notice they're there, and the gallery's always usually behind you, so it's kind of rare you like are just staring right at the gallery. But yeah, definitely I used to be nervous, but not too much anymore.
Along with that, what's been like your saddest moment on tour? You're like, I almost want to quit. It's like so annoying or so sad.
Yeah, I think probably the saddest I've ever been after a tournament was last year at the Tour Championships. I had a great final round. I basically just had to shoot like a decent round to make it in, and it just felt like everything was going wrong. Like I was just getting the worst kicks into Narnia, and every putt was coming out, and then I ended up missing it by one. And after that, I was just, oh my goodness, I was so sad. Yeah, there's a lot of sad moments I could name. That was just the first one that came to mind. But
you had it on top of your head though. So have you ever considered in those like really low moments to be like, do I even want to be on tour, or is that really not something that enters your mind?
I feel like that enters everyone's mind at one point. Like especially this year, I feel like I've had that thought a lot, just because it's so frustrating, just playing so bad all the time, and it's hard to trust the process sometimes when it comes so slowly. But yeah, I think everyone has their moments of just feeling like they shouldn't even be out here and questioning why they're out here. But I don't know. I think it's those wins and highs that really keep you out here.
I'm sure this is a lot of people's perspective too. Like now that you are in the public eye a lot more with your YouTube, I'm obviously like checking stats like every week. You're like, how's Alden doing? How's Alden doing? Kind of like Simon, people see you so much more, but they kind of root for you and they like want you to do good. So going back to your YouTube, what do you think separates you so much from everybody else that tries to do it?
It's a good question. I feel like a trend I've seen over the years, and I don't know if I don't want to say I necessarily started. I feel like Simon was kind of the pioneer with the disc golf YouTube, but I feel like a lot of people over the past couple years they've come out with like vlog 1 or this event, and they go for like 3 times and then they don't upload again. It's just a lot of work. I think it's a lot more work than people think, and you probably know too. It's so much work, and I think when people start doing it, they don't realize how much work it is. So I don't know, it's just a matter of once you're in the deep end, and you just have to decide to keep doing it, especially because at the beginning, like I said, my first videos were getting like 10-20 views. So I don't know, it's sometimes just hard to keep going when you don't see those big numbers.
I've just recently seen some like huge growth, and I'm like, why are these videos performing so much better than others where I spent like 20 hours?
Oh my heavens, don't get me started on that. I feel like all my best videos have the least amount of views.
And how did you develop your like style of editing? Because like I'm sure you could like kind of intuitively get there, but yours is so good that I'm like, you had to have like studied something.
No, I actually have like no editing or video experience at all before my YouTube. I did used to, me and my brother used to play a lot of video games, and I'd always like save clips of the funny things that happen or the cool things that happen, and then like at the end of every like month, I just kind of compile them together. So I guess it's like similar to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And along with that, your pacing is so on point.
Oh, thank you.
So that really was just something you're like, I think it'd be funny to stop Gannon talking right here.
Yeah.
It's really
Some of the things just like, yeah, I guess just come naturally. Like yesterday I actually videoed something of Gannon, and like while I was videoing it, I could just like picture exactly where I was gonna cut it off. So I think it is just kind of like in the back of my head a little bit too.
So what about your thumbnails makes you want to put Gannon so much on every single video?
I think especially when I first started making them, I hated being in front of the camera. I'm like hardly in most of my like first vlogs just because I hate being in front of camera. So I think probably because most of first vlogs and like vlogs of the past few years, just like mostly me and Gannon, I don't want to be in the thumbnails, so I just kind of stick him in there. Yeah, I don't really think too much about who I put in to try to get views, but I try to think of like the best part of the video and just do the thumbnail, whatever what that is. Yeah.
I've also wondered how much effort do the other guys put into the channel, because they're in it so much that it has to not be like zero.
They definitely come up with a lot of the ideas. I think a lot of the ideas, it's kind of like a group effort. Like if we think of a funny idea to video, or if just something funny naturally happens. I feel like that's about like the extent of it. I do all the editing and all that, but they're definitely, I mean, they're obviously what make the channel funny, so I guess they did a bit part. sometimes.
So with that, any exciting plans for Europe?
Because last year at Europe, I made 3 pretty long vlogs that I love a lot, and I'm excited to look back at them when I'm old and frail. But yeah, I'm excited. Just I don't know, I feel like when I go over to Europe, I make a slightly different style video, more of just like, I guess when I'm like in the States, it's just really funny moments, but then when I'm over at Europe, it's like the whole travel experience. So I'm excited for that, especially Gannon's first time over there. It should be pretty funny.
Yeah, I feel like every video, like Europe, you find a way to like turn it into something that is unique. This is my full-time job. I don't do that. So how is he able to do so much unique things on editing? Do you know Jay Millie? Kind of the same vibe. Like you guys are doing such like unique stuff that I'm like, why did I not think about that? Because obviously like it works for YouTube. It's like funny, it's short, and it's great. Also unrelated, but when Isaac was at was it Smoothie King?
Yeah.
Was that like his full-time job? Because he did it so smoothly.
No. Yeah, so we got, oh my heavens, we got so many questions or like DMs and comments about that, asking like, why is the major champion still working at Smoothie King? Like someone had to be working there that you knew, and we actually didn't know anyone there. We filmed it in Jonesboro actually. I posted on like the Facebook, like the disc golf Facebook group around that area, if anyone just had access to like some type of fast food, and I can't remember if it was like the manager or the owner. I don't think they were the ones that commented, but one of their friends commented, and then they got me in touch. So and she was awesome. She was like, oh yeah, y'all just have free reign, do whatever you want. So yeah, it was so funny how many comments we got about it. Like, why is he still working there?
I think if I hadn't gotten that kick, the whole round would have just been. Yes, you want strawberry? Okay. Sorry guys. If I hadn't gotten that tree kick, the whole round would have just been straight downhill and not a chance. Yeah, I can get you a banana in there. You want 2 bananas in there? Yeah, I can sneak another one in there for you. Yeah. Can I help you guys anything else? Sorry, I was talking to this guy, not you guys. Yeah, that'll be $27.45 at the window.
Awesome. Was that a one-taker? Because he did it so clean. Right
I think it was.
Oh my goodness.
I think it was a one-taker until the end when he was like acting like he was doing an order.
What is a misconception you think people have about you, tour life?
I feel like one thing that, at least specifically for me, there's been so many times on tour where I am like with a group of random people like from the area, and they're just like, I was expecting you to be the most outgoing person ever, and I'm the most introverted person ever. I like really won't talk to many people unless like someone comes up to me, but
I think Simon also is.
Yeah, he is.
It's funny because you don't think about it because you're like, people perceive you a certain way because you're in like your element. But if you're like outside with so many different people, it's just a totally different social situation.
Yeah, I remember the first time it was the first ever disc golf event I ever went to was 2017 Worlds as a spectator. It was like right when I started playing, and the first person I saw was Simon. He was my favorite. I like went up to him, and you could just tell he was like, he's probably a lot better now, but just like kind of socially awkward and just very introverted, very like myself. So it is kind of funny how you can see people like all the time on these videos of them doing goofy stuff, and then in person they're just like I don't know.
So-
Yeah, for everyone out there, you please come up to talk to me. I just probably won't come up to talk to anyone myself. So I love talking to people, but you have to come up to me first.
I think that's probably reasonable too. All right, last question. Any secret you can share about the crew?
Ooh, let's see. Isaac, come here.
All right, so I want to know a secret about you,
Uh-huh.
Alden, Gannon, and Ezra.
Some dirt
And
you
Gavin.
have on everyone. I couldn't think of
Some
anything
dirt.
good.
Man, Alden has
Oh no.
really sweaty hands. He
yeah.
actually has a disease. It's funny.
Yeah, I don't,
he's-
yeah.
He should be able to park in the handicap parking lot, but
Yeah, it's bad.
it's bad.
I've hyperhidrosis, which is it. Sometimes I can just be doing this and they're just dripping.
Oh man.
It's
All the time.
about the worst thing you could have as a disc golfer. But
Let's see, what has Gannon done that's dumb? He does something dumb every day, but
I know I
It's
can't
like-
think of it. There's nothing like consistent. That's the problem.
yeah, it's just random stuff.
He gets what he calls the zoomies a lot. What dogs get.
Yes.
He just
He
can't
literally
stop
does.
moving.
He gets spastic, which I guess that's a pretty good one actually.
Yeah.
He like it happens usually like late at night
Or early in the morning.
or really early in the morning, and he just
won't stop.
he won't stop talking, he won't stop moving, and he'll like jump on you.
Yeah.
Let's see, Gavin. One time he was making a ham and cheese sandwich on his grill, and something happened where he had to throw it away, and he threw. I think this is in your video actually. Yeah. Well, he threw his ham and cheese onto the roof of his van by accident, and then he chucked it into a tree. So that was-
Yeah, the next year he was.
Gavin, don't be mad at me, but he's kind of the biggest practice round rager ever. But you know what? He gets it out. That way he doesn't have to do it in the tournament. Tournament, level head. Practice round, you never know what Gavin you're gonna get. You better hope he's hitting his lines, or it might be unsafe. I love you, Gavin.
And cut.
He was making another sandwich and cut his finger off, basically.
Gannon has a note. You need to get him after this because he has a note
Of all his
Weird.
funny memories on tour. He just like, every time something it's just so funny happens, he writes it down. Isaac basically only eats chicken tenders.
That's just not true.
I was like,
Yeah, that's me.
That's all the only it's the same thing. every day. One time when we were kids, Ezra had to go to the bathroom really bad, and my dad pulled off on the side of the road and kind of opened the door to kind of block people from seeing Ezra just peeing on the side of the road, and my dad drove away and just left him out in the open on a pretty busy road.
That's awesome.
And I think that scarred him a little bit.
I assume he had no phone.
No, this was back when he was like 11. Yeah.
Obviously, he came back and got.
Oh yeah. But he drove like 25, 30 feet, and Ezra was like, real quick.
Everyone out here wants to ruin Isaac's life. Steal that yellow M1 over there. No, don't actually do that. He lost it one time, and then the second he got it back, he won 2 majors.
That is actually true.
Yeah.
That is.
With that, Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.
Later.